those consequences, they're coming.
There will be an appropriate response.
You are the last piece of the puzzle.
Each week we break down another Breaking Bad episode, in order. This week it's Season 4, Episode 12.
End times.
I've got 25 details you might not know, including 2 subtle early clues to Walt's secret plan. You can't properly discuss Episode 12 without spoiling Episode 13, so if you haven't watched Face Off, please do that first. Oh good, Walt came out of the crawl space.
They're here. They're out front.
What about your stuff?
I'm not going to Hank and Marie's.
You said we're in danger.
Yes, that's true. Because of me.
No, it doesn't matter now. All that matters is...
All that matters is that the rest of you are safe. I'm the real target.
There's got to be another way.
There isn't. There was. But now there isn't.
How long till you're safe?
Oh, Skylar, I've made choices. Listen to me. I alone should suffer the consequences of those choices. No one else. And those consequences, they're coming.
Brian has cotton plugs shoved up his nose to give it the swollen, injured look.
No more prolonging the inevitable.
This scene is interesting because they seem like a loving couple, and Walt seems to be doing the noble thing. Crisis can bring out the best or worst in people, and in this case, I guess it's bringing out the best.
Hank, got a car wash to run. Jesus. The Marie that killed me.
In one continuous shot, the gun stops at Walt twice in a row, meant to be the universe telling him to end his time on this planet. They did this with a clear dowel through the table connected to a pulley 8 feet away. Although they digitally erased the contraption, you can still see the very top of it. Then we get a classic Breaking Bad reveal of a plant? Really smart people might recognize the Lily of the Valley and I suppose put 2 and 2 together. The rest of us need to wait. But this is the moment Walt gets his idea.
He's gonna risk his life over a stupid car wash? How hard did you even try? Or did you?
Hey, lay off your mom.
Why didn't your people put him in the car?
Because it's not Nazi Germany.
If I had $1 for every time I heard that, you know what? I'm gonna call him.
If I had $1 for every Germany reference in Breaking Bad.
Could we just take this down a notch?
Anonymous threat against me? I'm stuck in a wheelchair, I'm not even on the job. Someone didn't like the way I've been spending my free time.
What? Minerals?
Good job, Junior.
Breaking Bad breaking news.
Actually, we've reached the final tally. Somewhere, Zalek is getting nervous. It was a close race all season, but the final answer is that...
The rocks, Hank!
Although this is only because I counted when Hank said Rocky, so maybe it should be a tie? Go ahead and let me know if you think Rock stole this election.
What are you talking about?
I think Los Pollos Hermanos is a front for the biggest meth distributor in the Southwest.
Oh my God. Steve, are you even looking into this?
The scumbags that hit you first were Mexican cartel, not some German multinational whatever. If we even had a shred of proof...
Wasn't that what you get paid to go get?
There's no way in hell a judge is gonna give me a search warrant.
Search warrant? What happened to good old-fashioned knock and talk? Oh, that's right. You were never very good at those, were you?
This is only one of 5 episodes directed by Vince Gilligan, and the only one of those that he didn't write. He also directed the next one, and that was only possible because they shot episodes 12 and 13 together, bulk shooting all the scenes needed at each location. They previously did this for Season 1, Episodes 2 and 3. R.I.P. Mike Bataya, who plays Dennis, and passed away just over a year ago.
Can I tell you a story? Yeah? I busted this chef. Well, he says he's a chef, but just because you work at a restaurant that charges $14 for a burger, that don't make you a chef.
Gomi is so perfectly awkward and uncomfortable doing this, and part of me wonders how much of it is intentional versus just a side effect of Steven the actor doing the biggest scene he's ever done. Either way, bravo, Vince.
His story is a big load of steaming horseshit. I mean, we're gonna find heroin here like we're gonna find Jimmy Hoffa.
Yeah, Jimmy Hoffa buried under the laundry? How ridiculous.
So I'll have to go get a warrant, and we'll do it official. Be less trouble if it was just us two.
Just the 2 of you?
Dennis, why wouldn't you call Gus about this?
Okay. Could you tell him?
They added that line because a second agent would need to be
Okay.
a witness in case this came up in court. In real life, the second agent wouldn't be that far back, but Vince liked the depth of this shot better, so he added that line as a compromise. That's a real drug-sniffing dog. As is customary, they had to plant drugs for the dog to find after they were done filming so the dog doesn't get demotivated. I never mentioned it before, but they purposely obscured the Braun label. I don't know why they didn't just remove it like on the other machines. He waited a long time to shut that off. And that phone is pretty loud.
This is all a result of your former partner.
Here's another example of a voice not matching the mouth movement.
Do you understand now?
I'm not signing off. So what are you gonna do?
There will be an appropriate response.
Appropriate. What does that mean?
You have 6 new messages.
Pinkman, get over here, stat.
What's up? He's waiting for me, yo.
Hold up.
Hey, get your tool off of me.
You can indeed see Huel pocket something.
What's so important?
They're here. The end times, kid. End times.
I'm pretty sure that's a better shot of the mummified hand I talked about in Problem Dog.
You haven't talked to your partner, have you?
No, not since last night. Today, he didn't show up to work, and the DEA just happened to, raid us.
All I know is when he tells me that your employer took him out in the desert and threatened to murder his entire family, I sit up and take notice because, hey, after all, what am I if not family?
Nothing, huh?
Clean as a whistle.
Oops, there's a microphone.
Hey, what's up? What's wrong with him?
Jesse, it's like he's got the flu, but he just keeps getting worse. He was fine, he's fine.
Andrea Cantia, we're gonna go ahead and admit your son to the pediatric ICU.
Go. I'll be out here if you need me.
Guy eats rice and 2 or 3 days later he gets the flu.
No!
We can't have you back
I need to tell her.
You two, just take this outside.
Eating rock may have been poison. Rice and don't know what you're talking about. Tell them, okay? Now, just do it.
If you look frame by frame, you can see the subtle jump cut they did because Brian took too long to get off the couch.
I don't know what you're thinking coming here. Everything. It's all coming to an end. They threatened my family, my wife, my children.
This is one of those scenes that you experience so differently after you've watched the rest of the season. For example, Walt putting the gun down was part of his plan to force the confrontation. He needed an excuse to convince Jesse that Gus is behind the poisoning. This is the revolver Walt bought in episode 2, so it's also a Chekhov's gun, and there's nice symmetry here.
What are you doing?
Why did you do it?
I had to call the DEA to protect my family. What else could I do?
No, Brock.
Who's Brock?
You saw him in my living room just last night. Why did you poison him?
I have no idea who these people are.
The ricin! He's dying because someone gave it to him.
Jesse, you're not thinking clearly. When could I have possibly gotten it?
You had Saul do it. His big man mountain bodyguard patted me down. That's when he must have sold off on me, right?
Why, in God's name, would I poison a child?
To get back at me because I'm helping Gus, and this is your way of ripping my heart out before you're dead and gone.
This episode gave Aaron his second Emmy. I'm sure they could have submitted Problem Dog instead and he still would have won.
I did not do this!
Shut up!
I'm not lying, just listen to me. Who would... Oh my God.
Do you hear that? It's a continuation of the music at the end of Crawl Space, which fits well with this.
Stop laughing!
That's good acting from Walt, but he had recent practice. It's amazing how the sound effect made the kick feel like it lands.
I've been waiting all day for Gus to send one of his men to kill me, and it's you.
For all the crap I give him about being a bad liar, he seems to have mastered it here. It turns out that at the time, Bryan Cranston thought that Walt was telling the truth. Do you think he would have played this any differently if he knew Walt's secret?
Who do you know who's okay with using children? Who's allowed children to be murdered?
In Andrea's family, no less.
Gus! He has been 10 steps ahead of me.
It was probably hard for Walt to say that.
The one thing that he needed to finally get rid of me is your consent, and boy, he's got that now.
You can see a light box reflected in Walt's glasses.
You and I were the only 2 people on Earth who knew about it.
No! You don't even believe that. Gus's cameras everywhere, please.
Jesse might be wondering if this is what Gus meant by...
There will be an appropriate response.
And you don't think it's possible that Tyrus lifted the cigarette out of your locker? You are the last piece of the puzzle. You are everything that he's wanted.
That's a much better strategy than...
This whole thing, all of this, is all about me. It's brilliant.
Walt can probably say that about Gus because he's thinking about his own brilliance here.
If you think that I am capable of doing this, then go put a bullet in my head and kill me right now.
According to Vince, Walt's thinking that if Jesse doesn't believe him, at least he'd put him out of his misery quickly, which is better than whatever Gus would do.
Do it!
I'll do it.
Do it.
Vince didn't notice this mark until in the editing room.
Where are you going?
I'm gonna find this son of a bitch and I'm gonna kill him.
No, you'll die before you get anywhere near him.
I don't care.
Jesse, just get in your car. Just go. Just drive.
It would certainly help Walt if Jesse skipped town.
I'm going to do this one way or another, Mr. White.
And let me help.
There was going to be a scene here with them coming up with the plan to kill Gus, but they did so many takes of this last scene that they ran out of time to even film it. It was going to have Jesse suggesting ideas Walt already tried, like surprising him at the restaurant or at his house. These tiles are an intentional homage to the Breaking Bad logo.
Oh, Jesus.
Unless the family wants you in there, you're not allowed.
Mr. Pinkman, I'm gonna call security.
I wonder if she just got deja vu.
I'm getting security.
No, wait.
Hey.
Needs to be at work.
I'm not leaving here. If my employer has a problem with that, he can tell me himself. Hey, I don't know this guy! Call security!
Yeah, that's right. We've got a situation.
This is a real special effects bomb. They wanted Walt to use a baby monitor as a detonator, but it wouldn't have enough range. So they went with the next best thing and had him hide the bomb in a diaper bag.
He'd like to speak with you.
I told you I'm not leaving.
He's downstairs. Jesse, I am running a business.
Did that sound weird? This is the only time Gus ever said his first name. It's also the first time he calls him anything to his face. Besides this, we just get some Pinkmans.
Where is Pinkman now?
What about Pinkman?
Stay away from Pinkman.
That little boy upstairs is dying. I can't be away if something happens. If
I am very sorry. I am on the board of this hospital. I can recommend doctors. Make sure he gets whatever he needs.
He's not sick. He was poisoned.
Walt certainly didn't want him to say that, but he's testing Gus's reaction.
How did that happen?
Maybe he still doesn't 100% believe Walt.
I don't know.
Or maybe he's too mad at Gus pretending to be innocent.
This current batch is surely ruined now, correct? Stay with the boy. You will start a new batch when you are ready to return. Next week. There you are. Why'd you stop?
Notice the Christmas lights. Those were already on the building. Despite taking place in July, Vince left them because he liked how random it was. That footage was slowed down.
Don't go. No.
Walt's left thinking, if this elaborate scheme, more elaborate than viewers realized, didn't work, how will he ever get Gus? So how behind the poisoning? And almost everyone thinks this upon the first viewing unless they picked up on those two earlier subtle clues. Gus didn't know that there was a bomb specifically, or even that his car was dangerous. He just knew that he should change his routine ASAP, and that's what he did. You know what time it is.
I will kill your wife.
Cartoonist Ando, Supo MC, Shea Banco, Daniel C, Lori Holland, Tony D's Music Channel, Garage TV, and Augustine Favara are 6-month members. Holy crap! Congratulations to all 8 of you for earning your 6-month membership badge from YouTube. 6 months ago was when channel membership started exploding, with some of you joining for ABQ and the others for No Moss when I just reached 4,000 subscribers. Thanks again for all your continued support. Say hi to our newest members: Schlaubi Einpachnermull, Jaffa, Saul Alvarado, Olivia Ellison, Connor, Cat Does a Thing, Leonidas A300, Jeff M, The One Tall One Small, JP Creations, SpongeBob, Tom Brown, Marley Wolf, Chumley Chum, Dandis, Nathan Farrell, Pyrolix, Zombie Green, Baraben, Kieran Genvi, Agent Walta, Chilled Gits, Barry, Boy in a Full Shell, Chris Schick, Blue Dragon Player, and Crip Arnold. And now it's time for me to fix my pronunciation of Killian Kenny. I should have known that one. Hello Kirkpad, Tubis, Tabasco, CTV, Yessie, and Mace. And shout out to the chairman, Nosy, and Michael. Next week is the video I've been looking forward to making ever since I started this video series a year ago. If you've been thinking about immortalizing yourself in a Breaking Bad episode with a channel membership, now might be the perfect time to do it. Get ready for Face Off.